Hello everyone, and welcome to my Update US Gossip channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Brown family's drama won't be resolved by the Coyote Pass property redistribution, in my opinion. Much of Sister Wives Season 19 revolved around former polygamist Kody Brown's dispute with his ex-wives Mary Brown and Janelle Brown over their Arizona property, Coyote Pass. Kody was previously married to Mary, Janelle, and Christine Brown. In Season 1, his fourth wife, Robyn Brown, joined the family. The Browns worked hard to combat stereotypes as they united to raise their 18 children between 4 households. However, all was not perfect behind the scenes. Kody and his ex-wives have been at odds over Coyote Pass since his divorces in 2021, when Christine left Kody and Janelle and Mary followed shortly after. While Christine forfeited her rights to the property, Mary and Janelle still own portions of the land. They were forced to think about taking legal action when Kody refused to give Mary and Janelle their fair share of Coyote Pass. On April 1, 2025, Starcasm announced that Kody had finally redivided the land, giving Mary and Janelle more equal ownership. But I think the fight isn't over yet, and Kody and his ex-girlfriend still have a rough road ahead of them. Kody still owns property with his ex-wives. The redistribution of Coyote Pass, which was recorded on March 27, 2025, resolves inequities in the property's ownership. Kody and Robyn used to own the majority of the land, but Kody, Robyn, Janelle, and Mary now share ownership of the 2 largest plots. The 2 smaller plots are also divided equally, with Mary and Janelle owning one and Kody and Robyn owning the other. Mary and Janelle's quest to receive their fair share of the family's investment begins with this first step. However, it doesn't remove them from their financial entanglement with Kody and Robyn. The 4 are still the co-owners of a property that signifies both the family's greatest hopes and their shattered dreams. Coyote Pass became an incredibly sore subject for the family after Kody convinced his 4 wives to uproot their idyllic Las Vegas lives for an uncertain future in Flagstaff, Arizona. Due to a series of financial setbacks and, ultimately, shattered marriages, the Browns never developed the land. Although the redistribution of Coyote Pass is a step in the right direction, it does not remove the family's emotional ties to the land. Although I am pleased that Janelle and Mary now hold a more proportionate share of the property, I am also concerned about the consequences for their capacity to move on from their troubled marriages. Starcasm noted that Robyn didn't sign until 2 months after Mary and Janelle did. Mary, Janelle, and Kody all signed the deeds in January, but Robyn didn't. On March 26, the day before the revised deeds were recorded, she signed the document. This indicates that the drama surrounding the property has persisted even during the process of redistribution. While the entire family had an emotional attachment to Coyote Pass, Robyn was particularly sentimental about the property. Sister Wives Seasons 18 and 19 documented her struggle to accept the end of her plural family. Robyn refused to let go of her belief that the family would reunite on Coyote Pass, even as she witnessed the dissolution of Kody's 3 other marriages. I believe she held back on signing the deeds because she was still hoping for a reconciliation. Robyn has always maintained that she was committed to plural marriage. She wished she could live to old age with her sister wives. Robyn ended up marrying only one person, Kody, who became increasingly irate and resentful as he went through multiple divorces. It makes sense that Robyn avoided facing the reality of changing the ownership of Coyote Pass. This tells me that emotions are still very high, and the redistribution of the land does nothing to quell the resentment among the Brown adults. Selling the property will be another battle for the former family. Mary and Janelle's main goal is reclaiming their financial investments in Coyote Pass. Kody frequently served as a guarantor for the shared accounts of the Brown family, making the family's finances a murky subject. Mary, Janelle, and Christine had no claim to the family's assets because only Kody and Robyn's marriage was recognized by law. Janelle admitted she was ashamed of the dire financial situation she found herself in after leaving Kody. The remedy is not just redividing Coyote Pass, but also selling it so she can claim her equity. Although a property sale is likely in the near future, considering how everything has played out so far between the former family, I doubt it will be a smooth process. Selling Coyote Pass will require Kody, Robyn, Meri, and Janelle to come to an agreement on the terms of the sale. They'll have to decide when to sell, for what price, and how much of the land they're going to part with. Sister Wives Season 19 has documented Kody's failure to communicate with his exes or consider their points of view, and I predict selling Coyote Pass will be no different. Although Meri and Janelle have won their first battle, they have a long way to go. When Sister Wives Season 19 returned, one moment dominated fan conversation, a redemption scene in which Robyn Brown implored Kody to mend fences with his estranged children. Yet instead of praise, viewers flooded social media with accusations that the emotionally charged exchange was nothing more than manufactured drama, proof, they argued, that TLC and the Browns were attempting to rehabilitate their image rather than foster genuine healing. Exposé. IMDb. Scene overview. In the episode in question, cameras cut from shots of family portraits to Robyn, tears in her eyes, begging Kody to fix this and reach out to his adult offspring. Kody, visibly moved, conceded that he'd been distant but vowed to do better. The sequence was framed with lingering close UPS and swelling music, a classic reality TV cue signaling a turning point. However, the execution struck many as overly polished, a redemption arc that felt scripted rather than spontaneous. Exposé. Reality TV's staging reputation. Reality television has long walked the line between unscripted moments and producer-orchestrated scenarios. Fans pointed out that staged recreations and selective editing are staples of the genre, used to heighten drama or steer narratives. In this context, the so-called redemption scene fit the mold of a contrived damage control plot, designed to soften Robyn's image after years of fan backlash. Exposé. Fan backlash and staging allegations. Viewers were swift to voice their skepticism. On Twitter and Facebook groups, comments ranged from disbelief to outright anger. One fan wrote, "They don't deserve a redemption story. They know what they did and said to every single adult child. Also, they're not fooling anyone." IMDb. Another decried the scene as a poorly acted farce that ignored the very real hurt Robyn and Kody inflicted on their family. These reactions underscored a growing impatience with what fans perceive as TLC's attempt to rewrite history. Exposé. Reddit reactions, damage control in action. Reddit's r/sisterwives and r/TL sisterwives were ablaze with critiques. One user summed up the prevailing sentiment. Kody and Robyn are doing damage control. They devised this poor acting scene to make her look like the wonderful person Kody has tried to shove down our throats. We don't buy that fake redemption of Robyn, sorry Kody. Exposé. Other top comments included. Total play to protect Robyn. It was all pre-planned. They've been doing this a long time. They know how to play the game. Exposé. Worst forced fake conversation ever. Exposé. Narrative control and viewer fatigue. Critics argue that the scene reflects a broader pattern. TLC's producers and the Browns actively curate storylines to maintain viewer sympathy. By spotlighting Robyn's emotional plea and Kody's tearful promise, the show shifted focus away from long-standing grievances, such as Kody's favoritism toward Robyn and his neglect of children from prior marriages. Fans perceive this as an attempt to reset the narrative, banking on the audience's desire for reconciliation even as trust erodes. Exposé. Comparison to other reality redemption arcs. Similar redemption arcs have appeared across reality TV, contestants begging forgiveness on Real Housewives reunions or stars staging heartfelt apologies on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. In each case, savvy editing and emotional staging aim to recapture audience goodwill. The Sister Wives redemption scene followed this playbook so closely that many viewers dismissed it as a familiar trope rather than a genuine breakthrough. Exposé. Impact on cast dynamics and future storylines. Beyond immediate backlash, the scene may influence upcoming episodes. With Meri, Janelle, and Christine all publicly critical of Kody and Robyn, producers now have a clear before and after pivot point to revisit in future conflict and tell-all specials. Fans suspect TLC will continue to use the redemption narrative as a springboard, juxtaposing this staged reconciliation with fresh footage of the Browns' ongoing legal and emotional battles. Exposé. Viewer fatigue and credibility concerns. Longtime viewers lament that the show's early seasons offered candid glimpses into polygamous life, whereas recent installments feel increasingly manufactured. The redemption scene, in particular, epitomizes the shift from raw family dynamics to soap opera contrivances. As one commenter noted, "We've watched 19 seasons, we remember every slight, every tear. You can't just gloss it over with a staged apology." Exposé. Implications for TLC's brand. For TLC, the risk is clear: alienate core fans by prioritizing image management over authenticity, and the franchise may lose its emotional resonance. While orchestrated redemption arcs can boost short-term ratings, they can also erode the trust that sustains long-running reality series. In the case of Sister Wives, whose central premise hinges on unfiltered family drama, contrived narratives threaten to undermine the very draw that kept audiences invested for nearly a decade and a half. In the most recent installment of Sister Wives, Robyn Brown's overt invocation of her absent biological father has prompted a wave of skepticism among viewers, many of whom contend that she is weaponizing her childhood trauma to manufacture sympathy and rehabilitate an image that has long been under siege. Robyn, who has been one of the most reviled figures in the Brown family since joining the show in its inaugural season, leveraged a confessional moment to remind fans that her birth father, Robert Mark, divorced her mother when she was just 9 years old, leaving a void that was only partially filled by her supportive stepdad, Paul Sullivan, who even walked her down the aisle at her wedding to Kody Brown. Mia. In the episode, Robyn urged Kody to reconcile with his own estranged children, framing his reluctance to reach out as echoing the same abandonment she endured, yet critics were quick to point out that the timing and presentation of this revelation seemed less about genuine healing and more about crafting a redemptive storyline that might soften her notoriously hard-edged persona. Exposé. Reality TV audiences, well versed in the genre's penchant for selective editing and staged confrontations, saw the scene's lingering close UPS, emotionally charged music, and the seamless segue from Robyn's tearful backstory to Kody's contrite nods as a textbook example of producers scripting an arc designed to sway public opinion. Exposé. Fans on Reddit r/Sister Wives were especially vocal, decrying what they viewed as an orchestrated attempt to rewrite 19 seasons of perceived neglect and manipulation. "I get so angry watching everyone rehabilitating Robyn's image. It's so infuriating that producers believe we are going to forget the 19 seasons we have seen. They try to rewrite history and think we are all going to believe what they tell us, not what we saw," one commenter lamented, encapsulating a broader frustration that Robyn's invocation of her paternal abandonment was simply another tool in a long-running effort to control the narrative. Exposé. Other fans went further, accusing Robyn of cynically weaponizing her trauma to deflect from ongoing allegations of emotional and financial abuse within the Brown family, with remarks like total play to protect Robyn. "It was all pre-planned. They've been doing this a long time. They know how to play the game, and it's astounding that 1 or 2 people actually fell for it." After seeing years and years of the neglect, and the financial and emotional abuse, Kody and Robyn say a few fake lines and poof, they're magically changed now? Exposé. Underlying this backlash is a narrative parallel highlighted by MEAWW, which noted that Robyn's biological father, Robert Mark, has never been involved in her life, a fact that Robyn has long acknowledged but which took on renewed significance as she implored Kody to mend his own paternal fractures. Mia. Mia further drew chilling comparisons between Mark's absence and Kody's distancing from the children of his first 3 marriages, observing that both men were absent from their children's lives and failed to take accountability for their actions, thereby positioning Robyn's personal history as a poignant mirror for the central conflict in her marriage. Mia. Yet while the symmetry of those experiences might seem organically dramatic, skeptics argue that Robyn's timing, emphasizing her father's failings at the precise moment when fan sentiment had soured, betrays a strategic ploy to garner empathy and silence critics. Moreover, this maneuver did not exist in isolation but was part of a broader pattern of narrative control on Sister Wives, in which Robyn and Kody have repeatedly used intimate confessions to recalibrate viewer sympathies. Whether it was Robyn's tearless crying sessions that audiences derided as crying without tears meant to elicit sympathy. Instagram. Or her dramatized concern over Kody's strained relationships with his adult children, each moment has been meticulously framed to recast her as the vulnerable underdog rather than the fourth wife accused of displacing her predecessors. Fans pointed to the convenience with which Robyn's storyline shifted from her own childhood abandonment to her role as moral arbiter in the Brown household, noting that the producer's choice to foreground her paternal backstory in a redemption arc risked trivializing genuine trauma in favor of a calculated bid for viewer goodwill. This latest controversy underscores the precarious balance sister wives must maintain between authentic family dynamics and the imperatives of reality TV storytelling. While Robyn's childhood pain is undoubtedly real, and her advocacy for familial reconciliation might stem from sincere empathy, viewers weary of perceived manipulation have rejected the notion that such a poignant personal revelation could be anything but a strategic effort to salvage her standing. The backlash reveals a growing disillusionment among the show's core audience, who feel that the Browns' use of intimate vulnerabilities has crossed a line into exploitation, prompting questions about the ethics of commodifying personal trauma for on-screen redemption. As Sister Wives continues to navigate these contested waters, the question remains whether Robyn's invocation of her father's absence will lead to genuine healing within the family or simply serve as another chapter in a long-running saga of image management and fan appeasement.